Oh, well,
Speaking of calls back bitches, I should actually open calls character sheet.
um,
Oh yes, that.
I just muted my mic for Discord to cough exactly as I was going live, but I did not mute my actual mic. I just muted Discord. So the first sound on the stream is my cough that I attempted to mute, but muted incorrectly.
Good job.
We're level 7.
You are level 7.
Fuck! I didn't finish.
Y'all didn't level up? Y'all are
Oh, no,
almost
'cause when
level 7.
when I started, I didn't have I wasn't near dice to roll for more hit points and stuff, so I didn't fucking finish that. Let me do that real quick.
I will say, I know this is gross, but D&D Beyond does have dice that you can just roll.
Yeah,
You
but
know
I was
what?
also
Fair.
on my phone, and I didn't want to try that on my phone. Oh, that was a whole 8, bitches!
Woo!
Yeah!
Call
needed
is
that.
a little less squishy.
Thank
Call
fuck.
needed it.
Didn't Henry get a 9?
I got a 1.
But
and then I got a 9. And so now my hit point total is at 63, which is divisible by 3, 9, and 7. And my brain, and it's a 6 and a 3. 6 and 3 are both divisible by 3, and my brain is just so happy. I never want to increase my hit points. 63 is the perfect number.
Nerd. Now let's play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that is so much better. I'm out of the 30s, finally.
Yay! What are you at now?
46.
Yay! I'm happy.
I'm still in the 30s.
To give a quick session summary.
We got a callback! Woo!
Yeah, basically.
That's it.
There was some running around before that happened. A little procession that came marching through town. That had at least 3 figures of note in it. And other than that, it wasn't last session that Dirk tried to throw it. But it wasn't last session. Yes, I'm getting there. But was it last session that Dirk tried to kill Henry?
No, that was
the session before. Okay. Anyway, the rest of the dozen did come back, and then shortly thereafter learned that Call was missing, and there were some split attitudes about it, at least towards the party. But all in all, nobody was killed. And then Jenna and Oster held up their end of the bargain and still did help retrieve Call. There was some skeletal rattling as Call was retrieved. Who knows what that means? Kenda did some crazy ass shit. Not as in they were crazy, but as in the shit they did was crazy. Controlling some multicolored lightning, crushing gems in their bare hands. You know, the usual. And then upon returning to the Dozens barracks, Call was swamped in friends. And lots of hugs, teary reunions. And then when things kind of started calming down to more of a sitting in a circle talking about our feelings type tone, Henry suddenly sat up straight and said, "I'm sorry. I saw Bennett. I have to go." Da, 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 da. And that's where we left off, on that note exactly.
Now, before we start, I have questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Jenny and Bronwyn. When Henry left the circle, It was about 11 p.m. When do you think they would have gone to bed? Like, left the courtyard?
I think Call would have probably evacuated the courtyard in lieu of the barracks shortly after Henry left, because after when how like one person's like, oh, I'm gonna go, and then everyone's like, oh, look at the time, and it just kind of starts a mass egress. I think Call's gonna be like, oh, we could be private and comfortable in the barracks.
Okay.
Did Ren go into the barracks?
I assume
Unless
so.
somebody told him not to, yes.
Did we want to finish that scene? So I don't have anything to ask then, because that answers my question. There's no wheedling I can do. You'll find out why I was asking
Okay.
in the morning.
I gotcha. All right. Now I got it. There has been some behind the scenes. The Bennetting happened.
The Bennetting.
Over Discord. So Call and Ren get to wait a little bit longer to find out who he is.
Henry's ex-boyfriend. That's who he is. That's all they
yeah,
need to
but
know.
which of the three people he was? Yeah, good. Okay, so I will say there was also a little bit of other Discord chatting happening with Bronwyn Call. So Bronwyn knows that Percy wants to speak with Call, and also probably need to give a report to Zerka.
Yep. I'm really interested in having some Percy time.
Tiny mug. It's so cute. Sorry.
He's out.
He's out. The mug game. Everybody hold up their mugs. The mug game tonight.
My friend Renee made this.
It's so good.
It looks very opalescent in person, so we call it the mermaid mug.
I love that.
It's like teal and pinkish opalescent. It's really pretty.
Speaking of mermaid.
Oh, mermaid. I love that. The one you chose is it's perfect. I love it.
I like this one a lot.
It's got a window?
It's got a little window. Because the rest of it is not clear, because they have some sort of pink iridescent paper on the inside so that the blue and pink comes through that way. And it's got little ripple effects on the top. And it's got little starfish on the inside of the water bottle. The shape of the inside of the straw is a starfish.
Oh.
It's cute.
It's very cute. It's honestly honestly, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, this is an oddly well thought out mug. Or cup or thing.
Okay. So, stage set. The dozen. I'm gonna say, while Zerka was there when Call first got there, I'm gonna say before Henry even left the circle, Zerka went back to her office. Then Henry left, and everybody moved into the barracks. So currently it is the dozen and Ren in the barracks, shooting shit.
Okay. Well, I honestly think that we don't, since selfishly I got to know all of the dozen's reactions individually via a Discord message earlier, I don't feel the need to RP all of that specifically, and Jenny's about to murder me.
I mean, if y'all want it, I could just read off what they do.
I think you should.
Because it's just a
Okay.
list.
Yeah,
So,
Because otherwise that
List?
RP could take like a long time.
yeah. Spouse?
No, there's two lists.
They're the
List
same
like
person.
The Trinity. There's two in one.
Okay. So these don't necessarily happen in chronological order. I have a list that has the dozen's name on them that I often have to check to make sure I don't leave one of them out because it's a dozen people. And so that's why they're in the order that they're in. But I'm just gonna read them off. So Jax kind of just rushes up and hugs. I'm going to say you and Call kind of interchangeably because I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to change pronouns. So Jax would rush you and kind of sob his way through telling you he missed you. Though through the evening he would kind of switch between 1,000-yard stares and just being genuinely happy. But like as the evening goes on, those stares get fewer and far between, like shorter and further between. He kind of seems to be coming out of that. Andy will approach, put a hand on your shoulder, say, "I'm glad you're safe," then give a slight bow and move out of the way. Dirk will run and hug tightly around your thighs and mutter something like, "I've got some apologies to make to your friends."
Oh.
Pim will find a way to be high enough to whisper in your ear, "They're going to pay for this." List is going to give you a big hug and say, "You had us worried, but I knew you'd find a way out." Seymour is a bit uncharacteristically quiet, but he will give a warm hug before separating and staring into your eyes, as if looking for something specific. He doesn't seem to see it and moves away.
He
Kayla-
thinks Call was a clone.
Kayla will punch you in the gut softly, by her standards at least, and say, "If you're going to get into trouble, at least give me a chance to straighten them out." Finks will give you a warm, fuzzy hug, but whisper in your ear, "We need to keep an eye on Seymour," then pull away and loudly say, "I'm glad you're safe."
Fuzzy hug.
He's a fuzzy boy, okay?
Fuzzy boy.
Arnold will come close to suffocating you in the biggest hug you've ever felt. Percy and Esley will be standing off to the side through all of that. And when you, at any point when you make eye contact with Esley, she will simply nod. Percy will catch your eye and gesture that he wants to talk later. And that catches up with their, just... and Bronwyn put it in the Discord too.
Because Bronwyn's the best.
Asher asked.
Oh, I didn't see that. There we go. So yeah, starting off.
Okay. So, I think once everybody has had their big, exultant, oh my god, kind of conversation, I think what Call's going to tell everybody is that they'll give them the whole big story about the whole situation as soon as they have the chance to talk to Zerka. As in, kind of saying, like, "I'm gonna go do that."
Alright.
So, I think Call's just gonna get up and head over towards Zerka's office unless anything happens.
Nobody goes to stop you. It's all like a... Yeah.
They all know. Yeah, that makes sense. Go talk to Zerka.
Yeah, go talk to boss.
So if the door is closed, Call's gonna kind of knock, but then honestly not really wait that long before poking their head. Like, kind of like knock, pause, poke head in.
Okay. Then you do see as she comes out from like the back room, and she has like a towel and is like wiping off her hands as she comes around, and she kind of throws it back into the room as she comes out, comes to her desk and says, "All right, tell me what happened."
All right. Instead of fully RPing that, I am just going to list out what Call describes. So Call is going to explain that they had I don't remember if she knew this, so I'm going to say Call's going to review that they had figured out about the tail, and that they suspected shapeshifting, and that they used invisibility to have Call turn around and tail the tail. and that Call had followed them back to the Half-a-Mug, but that the group had split off then, and since Call did not know how long the spell was going to last, Call went ahead and made an early evacuation. Call's going to walk through the spell dropping early and, or actually not even say that, just say, you know, when the spell wore off, I evacuated, but I was still caught. And is then going to explain in pretty significant detail the situation with the strange cards and the fact that they'd been like surrounded 6-1, and that they didn't they had not had the opportunity to communicate locations to the other two in advance, so they drew a card in lieu of hoping that the rest of their team would get there in time to support in combat. And after that, Call's gonna just describe this kind of weird, unsettling kind of almost like popping through jelly effect of 1 minute I was there and the next minute I was waking up naked in a weird sphere. And we'll go on to describe in significant detail the size of the sphere, the like way that the light impacted with the weight, with the objects in the room, how they all seemed kind of like mismatched living room furniture. Call will describe the figure that and the fact that they would not give Call their real name. The fact that they described themselves as someone who finds lost things, and that they seemed to know a lot about Call before Call said anything, and that they claimed to have heard it from someone Call knew back at the monastery, and that they had like learned this information from someone they had known, like Call had known a long time ago, and from other sources that they did not expound upon. Call is also going to describe that shadowy figure in the distance, and that the person seemed very genial and had offered to help find a way to send Call home, which thankfully did not end up being necessary because Call did not trust that fully. Like, you know, no offense to the guy, but you're a fucking stranger. I don't want you to perform big extra dimensional magic on me. So Call is, I think, not going to mention the entirety of the conversation, but is going to say that they essentially shot the shit for a little while, and they, and is going to mention that they seemed fairly aware of the goings-on in K'tughr as a whole. Just that they seemed like abreast of current events, even though they were in that pocket. They're also going to describe that when the figure left, they did some more snooping and found a hole punched into the back of a wardrobe, and that they had remembered the conversation the figure had had about how not everyone needed to go home. Not everyone should go home. And then they're going to mention in great detail what little they could find, what little they could gather from their brief appearance in the courtyard of, or in that garden, of how Ren and Henry got called back. And that, like, Kenda was involved.
Alright. She sits pretty quiet through all of it. Doesn't ask a lot of questions. And stays quiet a little bit when you're done. She stays quiet for a little while, and then okay, extra dimensional beings aside, because that sounds like a lot to unpack and look into. When do you want to go after the Light Hands?
Paul's gonna say, "You have my blessing." Though they are going to like raise their finger as if about to curse them and go, "There is at least one child, and I think we should bear that with caution. These are children, and they deserve more than the opportunities currently being presented to them."
Her face stays relatively hard, and she says, she just says, "I don't kill kids."
Call nods. I mean, Call did not think that Zerka was going to kill the kid, but like
I have to make a roll. I gotta find the right dice first. There we go.
Is her d20 in the box?
No. Her dice are.
Oh, because
she has a small dice.
Right.
because she's sneaky.
And also they're black and green and gold, and it
That
fits.
sounds perfect.
If there's any dice specifically that y'all want us to bring so that y'all can see, let me know.
We will think on it.
She says, "Come with me," and takes you into the back, through the doorway that she came out of, and opens a hatch in the floor, and takes you downstairs. I believe that I have actually told you the name of this person, so let me grab that real quick.
Yeah. I have zero information that my mind is speculating at everything.
I know.
So Kina has named this person to you. There is a dwarf named Derek, who is tied to a chair, and rather bloody.
Not a child dwarf, not the child dwarf.
No. This is sorry. To be far more, to explain far more, the bodyguard who normally sat at the end of the bar next to Miss Erin's table is this dwarf.
I love her so much.
He is currently unconscious. She gestures to him and says, to be fair, he didn't really hold much back from me. Well, at least not for long. And she looks at him with intense disdain, and says, I know a few back alleys and a couple places that they congregate other than the tavern that you and your friends found.
Paul is going to nod, while not looking away from Derek, and is going to ask what Zerka has learned.
I mean, basically what I've just told you.
Yeah. But like, if there was anything else, like, did he give any more information on the Light Hands in general? Did he give any insights, even no matter how minor, into Miss Erin, or
So
did he give his own account of Call's disappearance?
So he did the last. He brought up that their little initiation with the cards is a somewhat rare thing. They, he said that the way they framed it to you was like a, do we trust you or not? Apparently they don't do it to everyone they're trying to decide if they can trust. They counted you as a threat, you as well as your friends, but also had reason to believe that maybe you could be helpful to them. I can't say I agree with their methods of determining if someone can be helpful. But apparently it's only something they do to those that could be dangerous, which he also said that there can be very good and valuable outcomes of it. So I just don't get it. Also, he was rather ready to claim that they stood for the people of Storgard. But also, after a little prodding, they made money off of them as well. So basically, she looks at him often as she is talking, and every time her face is disgusted.
Carl's going to make a comment in the vein of, there was a point when I thought they did more good than harm. I do not believe that.
She gives like a short, quick nod, and then says, not to say that I thought you assumed I was doing nothing, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing.
Carl nodded and said, I trust you, but I do appreciate it.
Another quick nod, and then she just gestures to the ladder out.
All right, Carl will go ahead and head on up.
Your passive perception is stupid. There is you do see the rag that she was cleaning her arms with when you came in. You see that on your way back out, and it is very bloody.
Wonderful. I love her so much. I love Zerka. I love Zerka so much. Have I told you how much I love Zerka? Have I told you lately that I love Zerka?
Zerka looks out for her pack. So yeah. Kind of by way of dismissal, she takes you to the door, but doesn't really say much else.
Call is going to start to walk out the door and kind of turn around and say, thank you for looking after me. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back.
And Call will head back into the barracks. Probably is going to look for Ren, and pretty immediately, because Call did not forget Dirk's comment about, like, I've got some apologies to make to your friends. And so Call's gonna be like, alright, is Ren alive right now?
As far as I'm concerned, Ren is alive right now.
It's likely that as soon as Call was like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to Zerka, Ren might have taken that as his cue to I don't want to be here with a lot of strangers. My comfort person at the party left me, so I might dip out. So Ren might have gone back to the mage tower.
Alright.
If that's the case, Call's gonna be a little bit sad that they didn't get to say goodnight, but we'll proceed into the room as planned.
Rocky talkies. You good?
I'm normal. I'm so normal about the Rocky Talkies.
Jenny's been saying I'm so normal about this all day.
Me, I've been saying that like for so like recently too. I'm like, Ben, I'm just so normal about Henry right now. I am so normal about all my thoughts about D&D.
There have been many thoughts. Am I muted? No, I'm not. Okay. Would you stop?
I'm sorry, it's my autofill brain.
Anyway, who do you look for?
If everyone's kind of minding their own business, then Call will probably go to Percy, but if there's someone who is like looking up and going like, oh god, Call's back, like Arnold or Jax or something like that, I think Call will spend more time with them first.
Arnold and Jax are actually spending time together right now.
Good.
A fair bit of the room has paired off a little bit. Like Arnold and Jax are just kind of hanging out together. Finks is not sitting next to Seymour, but is suspiciously perched to where he can see Seymour. Kayla and Pim are talking. Estley and Andy are kind of in companionable silence close to the front of the room. There are more people in the dozen. Percy is kind of at the back at his own bunk, hanging out a little bit. I think List is asleep, actually.
Good girl, she needs it. Beauty sleep.
Not like they need that.
Alright, well, if everyone's kind of minding their own business, Call's going to head towards Percy, which is doubly convenient in that Percy's bed is right next to Call's own bed. So Call can like actually sit on their own bed and check on Truffle as well.
So Truffle is not at Call's bed. Truffle is with Arnold and Jax.
Wonderful.
But they will gladly hand him over if you try. Okay.
No. Presumably that is something that Call's stupid passive perception picked up. So I am retconning the Truffle comment.
Okay. So yeah, Percy does like a few people look up and like wave a greeting or whatever, but also like we're getting to the wee hours of the morning here. So it's kind of getting to the point of like, this has been a real stressful fucking day, where 7 of these people just got back from like active battle, and the other ones have been in a bit of a traumatic experience. It's just it's been a day. Everybody's tired, but it's kind of like you're back, and now people are kind of like, okay, let's lay down, let's go sleep.
Yeah.
But Percy is like kind of waiting for you as you come in.
All right. I think as Call approaches, the first thing that they are going to do is they're going to look at Percy and be like, yes, I'm acknowledging you, but then actually just kind of heel turn spin and just flop backwards on their bed and just kind of groan for a long moment and say, I have not slept in multiple days.
Percy is just like, yeah, I get it.
Call's gonna like kind of just while lying prone is just gonna like lean over like turn their head and just be like, did you want to talk here?
This is fine.
With that, Call's gonna sit up.
It's really good to see you safe.
Thanks. It's good to see you. It's been a long time.
It has. It's been too much losing around here. It's my job to keep everyone working together, as you well know. That's what Zerka trained me to do. That's what I'm good at. But it's been kind of like burning the candle at both ends in the middle. And then just before we get back, we lose the 2 members of the Core of Light with us, and then we get back and find out that you're gone. Everyone needs to rest every once in a while.
Sounds like you more than a lot of people. It's always been a lot to take on the emotional weight of 12 very neurotic people, or 12 if you count Zerka, but it's a lot more work than people realize, and I don't even know what happened during your mission, but with how beat everybody looks, I can't imagine it was an easy stretch.
Nope. I'm glad that Henry was close by when we got back. Seymour was looking rough.
God, I didn't realize. Is he okay?
He is now. Well, physically he is now.
He is... I mean, the last I really saw him was shortly after the execution. Did he ever recover? Do we know what's going on with him?
From what he's told me, it was a little too familiar of a situation for him. And not something that he could easily recover from. I think he needs a win. I know Finks is worried about him.
He is.
You're a calming person to be around.
Thank you.
For me, at least.
Well, if I can take my turn, then I am happy to do that, and I enjoy your company. So I hope you don't feel like you need to carry the weight of my emotional burdens. So let me take a turn, okay?
For the night, at least.
I can do that.
And he pulls out like a little tiny hand instrument that's like hardly an instrument, I'm making this up right now. Like what's the thing? It's like a piece of wood usually, and it's got like not like metal keys that are.
You mean the
really-
little prongs that you like
Yes.
finger pluck?
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I
don't know what it's called though.
I used to. Fucking used to. It's like those are already rather small, but this one is like only 4 keys, and it's like to change the tune of the keys, it depends on where you like hold it with your hand. But it is also very, very quiet. This is actually a new thing for you. You haven't seen this instrument that he has before.
Nice.
But he starts playing it very quiet, and like it's quiet enough that even though there are people going to bed, it's not like he's not going to wake anybody up. If anything, he's going to help them sleep. But he just starts kind of plucking at it really quietly, and just like kind of slowly closes his eyes. He still seems like available to be talked to, but he's just kind of playing and like swaying gently.
I think Call is going to let Percy just have a moment, and just to kind of center himself. But I do think that Call is going to kind of like stretch their foot out and just kind of like softly tap Percy's own foot, and just kind of be a little bit of like, "Hello, I am here. I am touching you."
Well, unless you want to go find someone else to talk to, we can go ahead and let everybody sleep.
Excellent.
Okay.
I think Call's just gonna go to bed, because I think Call's got 3 days of no sleeping to catch up on.
I do think that in our DMs we mentioned you ending up in the same bed as Arnold and just like
Yes.
sleeping on top of him.
Yes, that Arnold is gonna be like, "Nope, you can't escape."
So here's the way I'm going to phrase that happening. You lay back down in your own bed, and then Arnold walks over and just picks you up and lays down with you on top of him.
Perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
Arnold is like, "You are blanket now."
And Call is just absolutely going to just like, just go like totally like loose-limbed, total dead weight.
This might as well happen.
Call is accepting their fate.
Excuse me. Thank you, Jenny, for finding the name of the instrument being kalimba. Excellent. So, Call goes to sleep.
Yep.
Oh,
before Call goes to sleep, I do think yes, I remember this. Ren gave the Rocky Talkie with enough ceremony that Call does remember actually wearing it, because otherwise I do think Call would have forgotten. Actually, I'm gonna roll for that. I'm lying to you all. I'm gonna roll for it and see if Call remembers that they're wearing it. They do not, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Ren. You don't get a good night.
So, if I remember correctly, there were plans for crack ass of the morning between Call and Henry.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Ren was around when those plans were made. Are you
Yep.
going to try and be there for that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Ren is invited.
No, Ren's just gonna crash.
Ren is
Alright.
welcome.
Early
what I should
morning
say.
workout crashing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a workout? Hell no.
Yeah.
So, I believe, was that a Constitution check to see if Call woke up?
No, actually, it was, though, however, a roll to see if Call can escape Arnold's arms.
Nice.
Athletics check or acrobatics.
Contested. But he is asleep, so he'll have a disadvantage.
Okay. Ooh, there is something that I want to ask for you, dearest DM.
Okay.
So, Henry did not go to sleep last night,
Mm-hmm.
and so he had to roll a Constitution saving throw that he failed, and he now has a level of exhaustion. So, dearest DM, since the whole purpose of him staying awake was so that he could be awake at the ass crack of dawn, because he stayed up till like 1:30, and that's when he left Bennett's room, and then was like, I have to be awake at like 5 a.m. By the time I quiet my mind enough, it's gonna be to go to sleep. It'll be like 2:33, and I will not wake up
It's oddly
to
specific.
see call. So I'm just not gonna fucking go to sleep. And he paces. So level of exhaustion means that he has disadvantage on skill checks. But if his entire purpose was to be awake enough to hang out with Call, can I ask that he doesn't get his level of exhaustion until after the workout?
So technically, there's not exact rules on this.
Like, he's trying to stay awake and pumped, and then he gets through it, and then he's like, "Oh, I feel the tired."
Yeah,
I
you know,
got
I'll
it
let-
I
by
think it's a
10
fair
fix."
argument.
Yeah.
I will let that happen.
Yeah.
On the stipulation that Henry got bunches of coffee in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And also that you do still look very tired. You look
Yeah.
exhausted, but you won't have, you don't have the effects of exhaustion until after this early morning workout.
Yeah, I am anticipating that he went over to his friend the Druid's room at one point because he knows that this guy is a party animal, and he's like, "Hey, bro, I know you're partying. Give me some coffee, please." And we definitely had coffee in the middle of the night to stay awake.
It is a druid, and I did specifically, but I said that the ones that stayed are druids. Yep. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah. So is Ren coming or not?
Clarifying exactly what the plans are. I'm so sorry.
So because Henry left early, he wanted to meet up with Call as early as possible. So he said that he would meet them for their early morning workout that they normally do.
Yes.
Yes, you're there?
Yes.
Okay. So, what did you do anything over the night that bears stating?
No.
Okay. With that, then, I'm going to say that you all get there at roughly the same time. I'm going to say passive perception from Call is enough to realize that Henry is looking
describe him?
sleepy. Go ahead.
So Henry is just wearing, he was wearing his armor when he left, but now he's just wearing like a simple shirt and pants. His beard and hair do not have any braids or knots or anything in them. You've never seen that before. His beard is just plain, and his hair is pulled up into just like a bun in the back. And he looks tired. He looks exhausted, if you will. Ron, when your
Brian,
mic
you're
is up.
Fuck yeah, okay.
How does Ren look showing up for this early morning workout session? Ren's fine.
Fine.
I meant more of what's he wearing.
This, usually like business casual kind of.
This is what I run in.
Oh, he's not working out. Hell no.
He's gonna watch. Okay.
Yeah, he's here to stand by. He's like, yeah, lifeguard kind of situation. I'll sit here.
Lifeguard.
I will say, even with how little sleep that you have gotten recently, Call, you feel oddly rested. And for some reason, there's just a feeling in the back of your mind that you think Percy's music had something to do with it.
Motherfucker. Okay. Well, in that case, Call is also probably fairly antsy from spending the equivalent of 3 days in a 15 by 15 room with one book.
What was
It's
the
a good book, though.
Yeah, but also, how long do you think it takes Call to read one book? Not 3 days.
That's true. But yeah, fair.
And then the guy never came back to give Call more books. So Call was probably just pacing the fucking room for 3
Yeah.
goddamn days.
Paul doesn't read like Jenny.
Rude.
That is a worthwhile call out. Hey Jenny, there's a book you should be reading. So Call is probably looking a little bit excited to be exercising, and upon seeing Henry is going to be like, "Do you want to go back to bed?"
Ah.
Ugh. Okay, in that case, Call's not really gonna say much except start breaking into a very, very light jog. Just practically speed walking. And to just start off, and then is gonna be like, okay, do you want to tell me about yesterday?
Yesterday?
Ex-boyfriend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been. I didn't sleep last night.
Which is why I assume you have more information to tell me.
Yeah, he's here. He's, he thought I just wanted a booty call?
No. Paul's gonna, like, actually do that. And, like...
Thank you for validating me, because we got there and he was like, oh yeah, let's go back to my room. And I'm like, how are you? I have not seen you in 7 years. How are you? Why are you here? For one, why are you here? And also, you know, I've never just been like, I haven't been, there was no period of friendship after I left. It was, we were together, we broke up, I saw him one more time at a wedding, and we slept together again, and then I left and I haven't seen him since then. I don't just want to keep sleeping with him if we're, I just,
Did you tell him that?
no, I wanted to, but I was fucking stupid. And Henry looks like kicking himself, like he's kicking himself right now. And he's like,
Sleep with him?
yes, I told him no. I got there. Sorry, in order of events. I got there. He was like, let's go, and I was like, no. And I asked him what he was doing here. He's here, and is Ren with them right now?
They're fast
You're muted.
walking.
They're
so-
fast walking. Okay, so he's
I
like,
think
he looks
Ren's just kind of over there.
Ren's off in
Yeah.
the bleachers. Y'all are good.
okay. Henry looks back at Ren and is like, I'll tell you more about why he's here with Ren because it's relevant to what we're doing. It's not relevant to boyfriend talk. It's relevant to job talk. And I in my training here, I got over him. In my 5 years of travel, every time I thought of him, I wanted to cry. I thought about him every day, multiple times a day, and I just felt the loss of him. But coming here and disciplining myself, I could look back and I was happy, and I was in a place where I was over him, and I could, when I saw him again, I was fine. But then he just was talking, and he's just so good, Call. He's such a good person, and he's just kind, and we were laughing, and he just understood what I was thinking, and I just fell right back down the hole, and I am not over him anymore. And I looked at him, and he kissed me, and then we were in his bed. And
Call is gonna say, what are his intentions?
I don't know. That's what I want to know. That's what I need to know. What is he doing here?
Henry, you are not allowed to sleep with him again until you know his intentions. You cannot just be an emotionally attached fuck buddy. That is not how this works. Like,
Please.
You cannot do that, Henry. I need you to look me in the eyes and say you're not going to do that anymore. While Call is getting a little incensed about this, so Call's also walking faster. Henry, are you keeping up?
Henry is like doing a quick little jog. And is looking up at Call in the eyes, doing his little jog.
See, I'm imagining like a sprint to catch up and stopping to talk, and then a sprint to catch up.
And he's like, okay. And he feels grounded by the way you're reacting. Like, he feels like he was very anxious the whole time he was talking, but as you're reacting and what you're saying, just he looks visibly relieved and relaxed and grounded of like, this is sanity. This is what I knew and needed to hear someone say, and thank you for this kind of thing. And I think he says that out loud. He says that last part out loud. He's like, thank you. I needed to hear that. I promise I wasn't trying to sleep with him. It just happened, but it won't happen again. It's not going to happen again. But to be fair,
let it happen again unless and until you know what his intentions are. Do not just slide into being emotionally attached without making him say what his expectations are.
You're right. To be fair to him, I did show up to his room at 11 p.m. kind of unprompted. So, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't...
The prompting is that he showed up in your in your town after 7 years of not seeing him without telling you, which he easily could have done, that he was on the way to be in your town. That is information that he kept from you for multiple days. He was traveling here and did not bother to tell you.
Yeah. I think he used the transportation circle in the duchy. That's the north.
That has a name! I wrote it down. Where did I put it?
No shit!
I named it.
Couture.
It is no, no. It is Caelorin. Caelorin.
Nice. Even so, that only gives him so much of a pass.
It's still a long trip to Caelorin.
Oh, it's not like one day?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like over a week of travel.
So that doesn't give him a pass at all. Get fucked, dude.
Now, it's not the months of travel that it would take to walk from Caerhilion to Storgard, but... Or, right, he did kind of show up on a horse.
Yeah, even so, I think Call is in the, currently in the, I'm being the protective friend who has, Bennett has to prove that he's worth shit.
Yeah. Henry needs this in this moment. Call is being perfect, as always.
Because Call is sitting there so he shows up out of nowhere after keeping secrets from you and then immediately has sex with you?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Paul, he's been working out. He's noble. He was all soft when we were together, and he was still really hot, obviously, but he's been working out. He's has muscle mass. What has he been doing? I know nothing about what he's been doing.
You're shaking the camera a lot doing that.
What did Call say?
Call's gonna say, I don't think I knew he was noble.
Yeah, he's a baron.
Really?
Oh, Henry looks around. Perception check, please.
Go ahead.
To see if there's anyone in the clearing. 10. I think he.
Um,
Is anyone around?
um, well, I mean, the usual suspects. No, sorry, I'm not saying the usual suspects are around. The usual suspects that I tick off in my head, are gone. So, I mean, you can see Ren, but other than that, there's like 2 or 3 Core of Blades people in the courtyard total. Like, there's
Regardless. I
there's
didn't mean to
very-
cut you off.
there's very few people in the courtyard right now.
Regardless of what Henry can see, he leans in to call, like, to whisper in his ear, to whisper in their ear. So, I've never told anyone this. Because it's kind of, I'll tell Ren too, but kind of sensitive information. Bennett is King Matthias's brother.
I think Call's gonna actually just stop, like, not stop exercising, but Call is gonna, like, stumble for a second. And is then going to, hold on. Call does not keep a straight face. Call's gonna kind of, like, just kind of stare at Henry and be like, oh. Well, damn, okay.
Yeah,
How long did you guys date again?
about a year and a half.
Okay.
At the time, Matthias was, or His Highness was just the crown prince. But, as you know, Queen Georgiana passed a few years ago. And so then, yeah.
Damn. Hold on. This is a Bronwyn question. Is it commonly known that the king has a brother?
Mm.
So he's known by a different name to everybody else, right?
Yeah. So,
What is that name?
well, I mean, the secret's out. I can go ahead. I can go ahead and differentiate who in the procession it was. So Baron Edward II of Blackstone. That is his father's name. His father was not king. Was king consort, and also the second husband of the previous monarch, the Queen Gwyneth.
Wouldn't that make him the prince consort?
I think that's what it's called in England. Yeah.
But it's called that in England because technically you can't be king anything, unless
Okay.
you are king. But in this world, it's a little more gender equal. So
Sure.
king console and queen console are same level.
Gotcha.
So king console because he technically held no noble seat before marrying into the crown. So Matthias is the eldest child. There's also a daughter from the queen's first marriage, who is also older than Bennett Edward. However, also the king or the king consort, Bennett's father, took a Catugrin name when he got his title. His actual name, his like given name is Song Chung. But yeah, all that, and then when Bennett assumed the title of Baron of Blackstone, he took the name Edward as well and became Edward II.
Okay.
Fun little
Family
history
trees.
lesson.
So, okay. Given that, Call is going to say, Henry. Isn't he married?
And is he married?
Henry doesn't know if
Henry-
he's married.
Henry looks visibly stressed by that question and says, I don't know. In the few minutes we were talking, I looked at... I don't know.
So, Call is going to quietly say, when I was talking with Vic, he mentioned to me that the king's brother might be willing to have an affair while he is away from his wife for the next few weeks. You might want to see if he's married. I think at this point, Call has stopped exercising and is just kind of standing there.
You mean Call's not like doing jumping jacks while they wait for Henry to respond?
You love
I mean-
blind?
Yes. Though I do think Call is kind of just a little in exercise mode. So Call's probably like tapping their feet, but trying really hard not to. So it's that weird, awkward, like aborted tap.
Henry looks like it's all coming together. Like all the pieces are shifting into place. So like he is like real, like things are dawning on him, like, oh yeah, and like he's like fitting puzzle pieces together in his head.
Oh no.
So that's probably why he won't. Okay. Well, I don't know if he even likes women.
Political marriages happen for the sake
Yeah.
of children.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
Does the king have other brothers, or is it just the sister?
There's one sister and one
sister.
brother.
God damn it. Okay.
But I know
Henry-
he slept with other men. I know that. I've met one of them, some of them, but I don't know. Not that matters, but
Well, like, let's, in fairness, we have no idea how reliable that information is. Let's not automatically put too much weight into the rumors I was told by someone who didn't even tell me their name in an extra-dimensional pocket where I was kind of kept prisoner. Like, let's verify that information before we assume the worst. But let us actually verify. Let's know that.
Henry pulls out an envelope that like looks like it's on like thick paper, and it has like a seal on the back, and it says to Baron Edward II. And he's like, he was not happy at the end. After I brought up that, do you remember a couple weeks ago I stormed into Ren's room and crying that I realized that the day that I broke up with Bennett, he was going to tell me he loves me by tying the knot I love you in my hair. But I didn't realize that until I learned it from my book. I told him tonight that I learned some more knots, and he immediately realized what I was hedging and asked me to leave. He was very upset, and I been feeling horribly guilty these past few hours, but now I'm conflicted. Will you take this? I wrote this, I was gonna send it when more people were awake, asking to talk, just to have tea or go for a walk in the garden or something, but can you hold on to it? I don't know if I should. Should I? What do you think?
I think you should hold on to it until you have, or I think I'll hold on to it until you've slept.
Yep.
And then once you've had the opportunity to clear your head, we can come together and you can tell me your thoughts. And if you want the letter back, you can take it back then. And if you want help with figuring out next steps, I will be there to help you out.
Henry crushes Call into a very tight hug.
Carl is going to hug very tightly back and at one point probably squeeze the bun on the top of Henry's head. Because that's a thing that I do sometimes. I just honk the bun.
Henry kind of murmurs, like, into Call's chest, "You're such a good friend." Okay, and then he pulls away and he starts like jogging. he's like, "Come on."
Is Henry like, that's enough emotion for now?
Taking a leaf from Joel's book.
Let's just run away from this for a little bit.
He's like, "Okay, speaking of ex-boyfriends, did you talk to Percy?"
Yeah, we chatted for a little while. We're friends.
Yeah, but I have never seen a negative emotion on this man's face. Granted, I don't know him super well. When we got back and he found out, he was sitting real close to Kayla and Dirk. You know, Dirk, the one who threw knives at me, which
He
I
threw
don't blame
knives at
him.
you?
Yeah, Dirk tried to kill me. And Ren.
Dirk tried. What? I think at this point, Call's going to be like circling back towards Red,
towards Red.
so that
Back to
Call
Red.
can be like, "You bitches did not tell me everything."
Yeah, okay. We need to get and then I think Henry launches into how everyone reacted on the walk home. Like when we met the dozen at the gate and then we walked back to the dozen's barracks, like he fills Colin on what everyone was doing, how everyone was talking, and then when they had the meeting, he also mentions in passing, Zerka also has some shit going down that she said we could help if we got you back, so we need to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, and then gives a whole rundown of what everyone did, and then circles back to Percy.
I think.
Let Call respond.
Oh, hold on. Would Henry have enough time to get through all of that before we managed to get back to Ren? Because I don't.
No, y'all didn't go that far.
No. I feel like
that far.
No, we got back to Ren and then Henry started unloading.
I don't think because I'm pretty sure that we would get back to Ren and then Call would be like, "Dirk threw knives at you."
Okay, fair.
Also, just for a quick timeout, Ren watched y'all run off, start a not just workout conversation where, at least in my head, Call like continued at a steady pace and Henry was like, that's what I'm imagining. And then y'all like stop for a little while with very incredulous faces, embrace tightly, and then come back. What is Ren
and then
thinking?
Start off for just a little bit further at a normal exercise before Call suddenly veers directly towards Ren with no fucking exterior indicator as to why.
And says, "Dirk threw knives at you." What is Ren thinking?
So Ren has been the nerd in the bleachers this whole time. He even brought like a little like notebook or something like that and a little like charcoal stylus, and he's just been like just doodling. He just wants to be near the party right now. He's just being a proximity cat, like I'm here, even if we're not talking. I'm actually not even sure that Ren has said a word since last night. I just can't imagine him having spoken since they just got called back, like that one moment. So Ren has just been very quiet. And so, yeah, Call and Henry are, doing their weird exchange and their song and dance and stuff and their hugs and, like, revelations and stuff. And Ren's just, like, sitting here.
What's
Ren is
going
in
on
cat
over
mode.
there?
Yeah, Ren's just like, huh, okay.
Ren and Pierre are psychically linked.
Oh my god. Oh. So yeah, y'all come back and Call asks, Dirk threw knives at you? His name's Dirk. Get it? Like a knife. Anyway, so is that where we're at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he threw knives at Henry. And he kind of gives like a worried look at Henry, like, catch me up here, kinda.
So many things. I was asking Call about how the dozen reacted, and was talking about Percy and how Percy was sitting rather close to Dirk and Kayla. You know, Dirk, the one who threw knives at us, and then that's when we ran over. Which I guess Zerka stopped Dirk before he could throw knives at Ren. But yeah, if I had not been wearing my armor, I would have been impaled.
That's what he fucking meant by needing to apologize.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad he is not going to continue to try to kill us.
That's nice. I love Henry.
That is a Henry response. 100%.
Oh, that's so nice of him. He's gonna apologize for attempted murder.
Well, I feel like it's a pretty rational. You know, everyone had pretty drastic responses, and I feel like all of them are rational. Losing you is a big deal. And then Henry, like, kind of touches Call's arm of, like, mine. It's like, you're here now.
Oh my god. I think Call is going to just kind of look a little like... Because I think Call is still in the process of... Word choice. Processing that, it was way scarier for everybody else than it was for Call. Because Call was sitting there pacing in a small room being like, there's only one book in here! Meanwhile, everyone else is like, Call is vanished!
Hey, I will point out, you also had paper and ink.
Yeah, okay, so Call drew a bunch of fucking stick figures, because I don't know if Call can draw. We're gonna find out. Can Call draw?
Call can forge
Call's
things.
fairly good at drawing.
Call drew the blood stain from Yanaku.
Okay, but essentially copying something isn't the same thing.
True.
But Call rolled a flat 15 on that, so Call's okay. Call's okay. But still. I think Call has not quite fully figured out that it was much more stressful for everybody else than it was for them.
Well,
Anywho's it.
Henry's like, oh yeah, and then I think he launches in like, oh yeah, Dirk had a rational response. You know, everyone was freaked out, and then now he goes into recounting how everyone reacted.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
hold on. Go ahead.
So yeah, Percy, who to continue what I was saying earlier, now that we have all the context, Percy, who I have only ever seen as just a very peaceful guy, very chill, was not actually murderous compared to other people, but compared to his normal self, appeared murderous. He was siding with Kayla, who terrifying. She is terrifying. And Dirk, who threw knives.
Just a clarifying thing as the DM. He wasn't speaking with them. He was. But and I'm gonna point this out for Call, because I think this is where Call's brain would go first. Percy goes to the people who are hurting and fixes it.
Oh, okay, that's cute.
So, that very well could have been how Henry read it, but I kind of feel that by this explanation, that might be Call's first thought, is that Percy was going to fix that, not join it.
Henry took it as he's not outright joining them, but he's thinking about it.
Okay. I think Call is mostly just sitting there trying to process everything. Did you end with a question, Asher, just now? 'Cause...
I think he kind of relayed the information and then was kind of like, "What are your thoughts?" But well, is not gonna. It's not weird if Call takes a moment to think about it.
Like, what are your thoughts on just everybody's reactions?
On specifically Percy is what he was asking about.
Oh. I think Call's gonna say that, I mean, Percy usually gravitates towards the people who need the most calming down, so that doesn't really strike me as out of character. He was telling me the other night that it's been a lot of work lately.
Well, List stepped in to kind of assume that role while he was not with it. He was
Really?
definitely the calming presence, or List with an I, whatever their gender presentation was. That's the pronouns Henry uses. Yeah, they were calming everyone down, trying to be pacifist.
Oh. While Henry's talking, Call is gonna just kind of like lean over and just casually like rest an arm around Ren's shoulders, and is not going to say anything, but is just gonna lean in, and then say like, "Yeah, that I need to talk to them. It sounds like they had a really hard time with everything, but everyone was just so exhausted that I didn't want to pry. But it sounds like that was a very hard mission."
Yeah, they looked real bad coming back. Real bad.
Ren is listening to all of this. Whenever Call does that, Ren is still for a second, but then also kind of leans into it. But yeah, it doesn't had a rough several weeks, guys.
Now there's something else. Ren, don't you remember Zerka saying if we got Call back, then we could help with whatever she was assigning everyone else to do?
She didn't elaborate any further than that.
Yeah.
She didn't mention anything to me when I reported to her yesterday.
Maybe she wanted you to sleep before, adding more worries to your mind.
That is entirely possible. Oh, wait, how did the fucking coup attempt go?
Oh, wow. We dropped that like a hot potato the second you were gone.
How did Zerka react to that?
Zerka probably wasn't thinking about it either.
Yeah, okay.
Well, everyone's gone. I don't know if you heard. The expedition to the hills is gone, so it's like me and Patch. We're the only ones in our hall.
Damn, okay.
There's some druids around too. Thank God, because they're the coffee wizards. And he kind of looks around to make sure there's no actual wizards around. And he's like, but yeah. Ren, do you want to catch them up on how Barnabas reacted? I'm sorry. It feels like we lived a lifetime with you gone. Did you know how Barnabas reacted? What Barnabas's plans were?
I don't. Ren looks a little confused for a second, and he just kind of admits, I don't think so. I wasn't really paying attention to anything else. I have not spoken to him again yet.
No, Henry was asking Call that.
Oh, I thought he said Ren. Okay.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, Call, like, asking Call. I'm sorry, maybe I did say Ren.
You did say Ren.
My bad. I meant to say did Call hear that Barnabas was in support of the coup?
I don't think I did.
All right, well.
No, wait. Did we? Did I?
You were certainly still there when that progress was
Yes,
made.
I did hear that because I did hear that. I think.
I
Yeah,
think you're
Ren had come back and told both Henry and Call, hey, my talk with Barnabas went really well. He wants to talk to us at 6 p.m.
Yes.
We didn't get to 6 p.m.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I guess the evening that had so much planned.
Yep.
Does Call remember the
Seneschal.
Seneschal? Yeah.
Call's not forgotten the Seneschal.
Oh, he's probably not even here anymore. He's probably with the expedition.
His job is specifically to be here in this situation.
Oh, JK.
Like he is the guy. He's the last one left behind to make sure that the castle stays safe.
Okay.
Like he's the last person of authority left behind for that purpose.
Gotcha.
Well, I think the most important thing is what we're going to talk about the light hands. But if we're going to talk about the coup, I do have some news for y'all.
Okay.
Ren, before I start this news, part of what I told Call. So Bennett is here. Bennett was part of that fancy procession that we saw walking in. He's Baron Edward II, brother of the king. And we slept together last night. And he's probably married. Though I didn't know that until just now, because apparently Vic knew. I'm sorry, it's too much information.
Ren closes his book.
Nice loud snap.
Yes.
All right. How are you?
Let's not talk about that right now. First, let's talk about what Bennett told me, the reason why he's here. Well, when I asked him why he was here, he said a mixture of political and moral and a few personal reasons. So Henry kind of like takes breaths to compose himself, and says, I told Bennett over my sending stone, that the Count executed someone based off of their race, not based off of their crime. And I asked for advice because, he's been groomed his entire life for politics. He has sway. He could really be helpful in that situation, but he kind of said 25 words is not enough. And Henry looks around again and kind of like whispers, this is a secret, but he's here at the behest of the king because apparently reports of that and similar actions are being talked about in the capital. And Bennett is here to investigate the Count on behalf of the king. Now, I told...
Sorry, can Ren do a perception check just around? That's a 19.
You don't notice anyone that's within earshot. I'm assuming that Henry is speaking quietly.
Yeah, I'm speaking really quietly.
Okay.
So, I told him all about Vist, and Bennett said that it would be very hard to prove, and it was our word against his, even if we got... I didn't name any names, but even if we got like Zerka and Andy and Seymour and Lady Hart to testify that that's what happened, it wasn't concrete enough for the king to step in. But he is using that as like information to help look into it. So if we're lucky, we won't even need to coup. It'll come from above rather than below.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice, but I don't know if there's any proof of anything that Andrew has done.
Well, hopefully that won't be for us to figure out.
So, I think we can take a break from thinking of the coup because hopefully we won't even have to worry about it.
I think Call's gonna look down at Ren and be like, How's he processing that boatload of information that Henry just dropped?
Yeah, insight check. Insight check.
That's fine.
Fuck.
Okay.
Ren is fine. It's an 11.
Ren's fine. Smile.
Smiley face.
Oh, okay. Fine. I'll contest that. I'll do that perception check. Mod
Insight.
20.
Insight
Or
check.
insight check. Insight check. God damn it. Insight check is gonna be less than that. Ren's fine.
I like how Ren's not even rolling deception and we just know.
Not in actuality, but I feel like every time Ren rolls deception to mask his feelings, he has like triple advantage or something.
He rolled a 25, so yeah.
I'm absolutely convinced that at least
What?
once in a blue moon, Jenny just lies. And is
Has
just
to
like,
be.
Ren's fine, even if Ren did not roll high enough to actually be fine.
Every time it's over 20.
Every once in a while, I'm just convinced. No, not every
Do you
time.
want
I
me
just
to
think
start
every once
actually
in a while.
rolling deception like consistently whenever you guys do an insight check? Because
Yes.
usually it's not Ren actively trying to hide anything. That's just kind of Ren's demeanor. But okay, so yeah, I'll start just doing deception. So 25. He gets a +7 to deception.
Yeah, that's what I just went looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and yeah, +7 is amazing, but it's always, I think one time it was like a 19, but it's like almost always over 20. So you still roll high, and it's ridiculous.
The 18
The dice
is
are
here.
playing their own game. The dice are
18
playing their
is
game.
here.
I believe that you're not cheating. I'm not trying to say you're cheating. I'm saying I'm mad about it. I'm mad at the dice. I'm mad at the dice.
I don't think Jenny's cheating right now, but I do think that Jenny lies to me sometimes and says Ren is fine, and I'm like, Ren's not fine.
Well, yeah, we know that Ren's lying. Ren is not
Well,
fine.
yeah, no, but I mean, like, sometimes I'm like, you know, I rolled high. Tell me the truth.
If you
You
roll
want
high,
the
I'm gonna say it.
You
No.
can't handle the truth.
Henry gets a +5 to insight. So every time that we've done this this contest, essentially, Ren has always beat Henry, and it's just infuriating because Henry is a very insightful person narratively and mechanically, and yet you still always win, and Ren is always fine, and I'm not actually mad, but I care about Ren, and I want someone to notice that Ren's not fine.
Why are you assuming he's not fine?
Because I know!
What do you know? Like, there's.
Asher knows.
Asher knows!
What did you roll? Call.
For this one,
Not a 25.
Ren's fine.
Okay.
Ren's fine.
Call got a 13 on that.
Ren looks like he's processing. I think he does. I think increasingly he's doing like kind of a Barnabas habit where it's just like, okay, I'm taking information in and I'm processing it. I'm not doing any judgments right now. Okay. So Henry's probably stressed right now. Understandable.
Is Henry stressed?
Henry's very stressed. He did not want to talk about how he's feeling, so he's stressed.
Henry's not actively crying right now. What does that mean?
That's
Henry's
common
always
sense.
crying.
It's common sense. But yeah,
If he
That
was
just
okay,
means
he'd
that
be
Henry
crying.
is so sad he's past crying.
Yeah,
actually, damn, yeah.
yeah.
I just want to take a quick moment to say that that Ren is learning from Dad.
I know! That's what my face was
Ren,
about. I
Ren
was
is assuming Dad face.
like, Ren's like father, like son.
Yeah. Ren was already kind of like, okay, I'm gonna learn what I can from this, but now he's increasingly like, okay, I'm doing the Barnabas taking in information face. So, because that's one of my favorite things about Barnabas, okay? I just love him.
I love him so much.
So. He is Dad.
Dad.
But yeah, Ren looks like he's processing. Do we need to bring this to Captain Dawn?
Sorry, bring what? We were talking for so long. I forgot.
Amazing.
about why Bennett is in town
Right.
and the fact that we might not need to go into the coup anymore because it might be happening already, or the equivalent.
Okay, yeah, good thought. I did because so I asked Bennett. I said, hypothetically, if someone were to make a move to take some power away from one of the king's vassals, hypothetically, I asked if Bennett would have an obligation to intervene or do anything about if he found out about it. And and he said that if it was something violent, he would step in because that's what he would do, but he's under no obligation even in that case. And so I told him that I knew of at least 3 coup attempts happening from Storgard right now, and 2 of them might work together. And then that was all I told him, and he said, please stop, because if he doesn't find anything, he wants us to still be able to proceed, but we wouldn't be able to if we told him, because then he might have to step in. So I think we should let Captain Dawn and Master Barnabas continue with their plans, whatever they are, however they see fit, and if nothing comes of the king's investigation, then they can proceed. Bronwyn, you're talking with your mic up.
I keep doing that. Do we want to at least let them know that the king's brother might be working towards a similar goal without much? What is your face?
Can we not do
Fix your
that?
face.
That's what his face is. That was Henry's face. That was supposed to be Henry's face.
Okay, in that case, Call's just gonna stop fucking talking. Call's gonna look at Henry, and Call's just gonna shut the fuck up and kind of do that arm that's like, alright.
He's like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I am not. I think it's worth asking the question, what you're saying. Should we tell Captain Dawn? Should we tell Master Barnabas? I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want to be the reason things get messed up.
I'm
And
of the
we'll keep
opinion
it
that
quiet.
we should.
Call's gonna look at Ren.
I would feel much more secure having told Captain Dawn and Barnabas, Master Barnabas, whom we have established that we trust, against Henry. This is a man who is married.
Maybe. We don't know.
Allegedly.
Allegedly married.
Allegedly.
Allegedly fucked an ostrich.
What?
Allegedly.
What?
That is. Oh god, that is a reference you guys don't get! Okay!
What's the
Letterkenny.
reference?
Letterkenny.
Oh, we've been meaning to
Oh.
watch that. It's on the
Letterkenny.
list.
It is season 1. They talk about a guy called the Ginger, and they're like, he fucked an ostrich, right? And one guy goes, allegedly. And anytime the Ginger comes up or they reference that, they just, that one guy just goes, allegedly. I literally have met a guy who had a t-shirt with an outline of an ostrich and the word allegedly.
Nice.
love
I think
it
I
so
have
much.
seen that before, and I've just been very confused. I've seen the ostrich with allegedly.
Yes, it is a Letterkenny reference. I'm so sorry that you did not get that.
That is the deep end of a reference to be dropped into with having no context.
It's season 1.
Yeah, we
It is
haven't.
not the deep end.
No, deep end being that is a reference of some weird ass fucking shit.
Okay, that's fair.
TLDR, Ren does not like how Bennett is treating Henry and is not inclined to trust this man. Ren already dislikes Bennett. So.
Can Henry pick up on that, please? He would feel very loved.
Can
What do
you
you
wanna
think?
roll?
Yeah, I'll roll for that. Fucking bitch. 11.
He's not trying to hide it. If I am allowed as a player to set DCs for what I think
Oh,
yes,
my
yeah.
you should.
character would be,
Yeah, if you're
Absolutely,
it
you
is.
are.
Ren. Henry's known Ren long enough to notice his bitchy face, like I don't like this person face. It's there when he's talking about Bennett. So yeah, Ren's looking a little bit bitchy. But yeah, Ren wants to tell. Ren wants to tell Zerka and Barnabas.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I think Henry maybe interrupts Ren of like, okay, I'm sorry. My brain, I am tired. I am emotionally stressed out. I am not saying no, we can't tell them, but can you kind of walk me through why you think we should tell them pros and cons?
I think Bennett was correct in that we shouldn't be telling him anything, because then he would be obligated to act on it. But Captain Dawn and Master Barnabas are the ones that we have been conspiring with in the meantime. And if we have discussed changes in the power structure here, then this is another factor in that. And this is something that they would want to take into account if we are still considering that line of action. Also, I just feel better knowing that they have all the pieces.
Just don't tell Captain Dawn that I fucked him, okay?
Of course not. And also, I don't think we should make a firm decision on this until after Henry has slept.
I think that is a very good decision. Yeah, because Henry looks like garbage right now.
Yeah,
He's
Henry
not
looks
Say
like
that,
ass.
but Jenny is saying that.
Henry doesn't even have any braids anywhere.
No.
Who is this random dwarf man in the courtyard?
We don't know.
We don't
I
know
think
who this is.
At this point, Call is actually going to, like, lift up from where they're, like, leaning on Ren, and they're going to physically take Henry by the shoulders, turn him around, and be like, go to bed. I
No,
don't want to
wait.
see you until you're awake. Go
No.
until you're awake again.
Okay, wait. How about this? How about I run a little lap, get some adrenaline, and then can we please talk about fucking light hands and if we're gonna murder them or not? Maybe
No.
not
We
murder.
especially need you to sleep before we
No.
talk about that.
I think you need to sleep, because otherwise I don't trust any of your judgment calls in important conversations. So you need to go sleep, or anytime you start talking to me, I will start going la 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 la, and I will jog away, and I will use my full stride so you can't keep up with me.
At this point, Henry, who's several inches shorter than both of them, wraps arms around both, head between their chests, and just does a big group hug and says, I love you guys so much.
We love you too. Please go to bed.
I love you. And then
Henry concedes that he is too tired to talk about important shit. Also, Henry, let me do a little run and then we'll talk about murder.
He's very
Yes.
conflicted right now.
he's so conflicted. This man has been not unconflicted for like 2 weeks straight. It's bad. So much is going down. I think he starts going, and then he kind of runs back and he's like, I just thought of this and I don't want to forget. Don't say la la la, please. I need to.
Call is going to start turn around and like slowly start walking away so that Henry has like this much time to say his piece.
It's like, I forgot to ask Bennett about the war, and I feel like that's important to me, and there's a lot of important things that need to be said, and I do need to ask him that before he leaves, even if we don't like him. Looks at Ren when he says that. He's like, I don't know what's going on with him or what's going to happen, but I do need to ask that for my own peace of mind.
There are other people we can ask about that. Go sleep.
Ha!
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And then he actually goes to sleep.
Alright, so Call and Ren have 8 hours.
Wonderful. I think as soon as Henry is gone, Call is just going to like plop down next to Ren and just kind of lean shoulder to shoulder and just wait for Ren to start talking.
So y'all sit there for 8 hours.
Yes.
I think after a beat, Ren asks Call if they've eaten. He seems like this isn't just like a casual like filler space. He's like, "Have you eaten?" Like, talking to Orin almost. Like,
I am very hungry. Call is saying that as if they're only just now noticing that they're fucking starving.
yeah, Ren didn't see a kitchen in that little bubble space when they picked Call up, so yeah. Ren is going to go make Call eat a lot of food.
Does Ren mention that? That they didn't see a kitchen when they saw Call in the tiny little space?
Yes.
Okay, so Call's gonna go, "You saw me in that space?" Also, yeah, no, I didn't eat for like 3 days.
Ben, what are you laughing about?
You went deer in the headlights for a second. You froze up, eyes wide.
I do that sometimes. Pay no mind. Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain.
behind the curtain.
Yeah, when Henry and I went in and got you. And we found you before.
You found me before.
Yes, we had to test the device initially. We were going to see if we could pull you back, but all we managed at that point was we found you. So we found the location of the bubble that you were in. But it was only for a second. I barely even got a glimpse of you before, I think it was before you woke up.
Call turns faintly red and goes, "Oh, okay. You were talking about breakfast."
Yeah. Yeah, Ren's looking distinctly in the other direction. But yeah, so we're gonna go eat breakfast.
We're gonna go do that.
After an intense hour of roleplay. Breakfast eating roleplay.
Yes.
Oh. We can jump to after breakfast. If there's...
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be Call poking at Ren, like subtly being like, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay?
The whole time Call is doing this, Ren is also like not moving like further than like 3 feet away from Call, and like almost seems to keep like checking to make sure they're there, sort of. You shut your face.
I'm asking why Cole was embarrassed. And I gave an example.
Hey.
I was fucking right. Jenny is unamused.
Call does not know from what angle Ren saw them.
Didn't see anything.
Yeah, but like they're not talking about it enough to clarify that.
Ren saw the absence of a kitchen. That's all we need to know. So. Anyway, yeah, Ren is gonna trying to think of how to phrase this in a Ren way of speaking. I don't know. Ren wants to ask Call what they want to do now that they're like back on the material plane. Like, we've got time to kill. Let's go do something Call wants to do.
Call's not sure they have the day off.
Ren doesn't look like that seems fair.
You know, everyone else just got back from a really shitty trip, and it wasn't exactly a vacation, And I don't know if they have the day off, so I don't think Call assumes they have the day off.
Do you need to check in then?
Probably. Yeah. How about this? You come with me to the barracks. I check in real quick, and if I've got some free time, we can you know what? We could go check out a bookstore.
That sounds good to me.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's go. So, Call and Ren are then going to head to the barracks, and it is less ass o'clock of an hour, and also, normally, all of those motherfuckers are early risers. Thank you, Zerka.
They are atypical, like they are a little bit earlier risers today as well, because again, Percy did some music, and it's an actual spell that exists. It's a thing that causes people to be able to get a long rest in half the time.
Wow.
Not 100% certain that bards get it, but I can bend the rule. I can do what I want.
Rule of cool. Okay. Yeah, so Call's gonna walk in and first do a quick check on everybody and see if any of them know what the plan for the day is.
I need to check how long Jax has been injured. I think he's getting better.
He definitely shouldn't have to be on bed rest at this point.
I mean, he was up and around recently, so. And I am going to say that he's healing a bit faster than a broken rib normally heals. I think he's getting some treatment and such. It's just not like he hadn't been hit with a greater restoration to just snap it back in place.
Yeah.
Oh. Was that the first time that... Oh, no. Okay, yeah, because he slept with someone's husband.
And we don't use the word husband, like, hardly ever, because who's married in this campaign? Probably Bennett. But who else is married in this campaign?
Get fucked.
Who knows if Bennett's married? Maybe Call was just lied to by the extra-dimensional skeletal-armed, faceless, cloaked being.
Vic would never lie to us.
In fairness, Call did say as much themselves. Call did suggest, hello, maybe the faceless, cloaked, skeletal-armed being in a pocket dimension who wouldn't tell Call their own name is not 100% reliable.
Yeah, so the sentence that because there's 3 instances of the word husband in my notes. Jax is hurt because he fucked some guy's husband for spies.
Amazing.
When was this?
Sorry.
I want that for anything.
It was back in May for us. God damn. Session 32.
Can we just say Jax is a lot better?
It was the day after the execution. Oh wait, no. Sorry, it was in my. It was right after the execution.
See, I can go through and count all the times that I have Bennett sending in my notes, because that's every night. I don't know. It's been a while. He's still hurting, but we'll say he's almost better. For the most part, everybody is still around. Nobody's like gone off to do something. Although this is like we're getting to like even those who decided to sleep in are awake and thinking of breakfast things. But I'm gonna say that, like, as y'all, you know what, I'm gonna say as y'all approach, y'all actually see Dirk walking out of the barracks. Dirk sees both of you and goes a little white and turns around and walks back into the barracks.
Dirk doesn't like to apologize.
But yeah, when you get in, Esley is not in the barracks. But I'm going to say everybody else is. Most of them have some kind of food that they have brought back to eat in the barracks. I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the better times to call it, if we are needing to call it soon.
I have, okay, we can.
If
call
you have
it
something
now,
you want to
or
do,
I just have a little. I have enough wind in me for another 20-25 minutes. But yeah,
I feel like if we go any longer, we're gonna get spurred into probably more than that.
gotcha.
Not to say that there wouldn't be a time to stop at all in that, but I feel like this is a better end point than we would find in 20 to 25 minutes.
That's fair.
Okay. So, when we return, got distracted by the quotes channel. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and we can talk for a little bit longer. Cause friends.
Bye, friends.
Mom, if you're still here, bye. Mom
Was
was
Mom
here.
here?
Earlier. Yeah, Mom was
Mom.
here. But
Oh,
y'all
I
were in the
love
middle
Mom.
of roleplay, so I didn't shout hi, Mom. I just did it in the chat.
I love Mom.
Um,
Okay.
I love Mom too.
Bye,
love Mom.
everybody.